Oh, yeah.
And now, our feature presentation.
Cause we babies, kids, we don't die, we multiply. We don't die, we multiply. So brothers and sisters, let's get the politics right first, before we get the money. Don't you know that this is the same devil who's trying to get out from under the economic sanctions that have been posed, the economic sanction that has been posed against him by the rest of the world? He's only trying to create an image. He's taking notes from the white man in America. When Jim Crow was ultimately changed in appearance in America, they just gave Jim Crow another name. And so when they change apartheid in South Africa, it will only have another name. What is your second question? How many disagree with me? How many agree with me? Let me see your hand. Teach your babies. Teach your babies. Don't teach your babies about Christmas Adams. Christmas Adams was the first one to die in the American Revolution. Hell, he should have died fighting for them white folks. And our people weren't free. Teach your babies about Nat Turner. Teach your babies about Denmark Beasley. Teach your babies about Gabriel Prosper. Teach your babies about Toussaint Louverture. Teach your babies about Dessalines the Ferocious. Teach your babies about Queen Nzinga. Teach your babies about Queen Yaa Asante-Wa. Teach your babies about Queen Candace. Teach your babies about Amilcar Cabral, Patrice Lumumba, Osagyefo Nkrumah. Teach your babies about those who have fought for us, not those who laid down. Morgan Freeman in Driving Miss Daisy. He just came back from Africa. It was in all of the Washington, D.C. newspapers. Morgan Freeman came back from Africa and said that he didn't even like Africa. He said that he's mongrelized. He's not African. He's not black. He said, don't bring me that mess about black people were dragged from Africa on slave ships in chains. He said black people left Africa running trying to get to America. Morgan Freeman, driving Miss Daisy when he ain't driving her, he's riding her. Yes, sir.
My second question is, since I've been here, 2 black banks have closed down, one in Harlem and one in Newark.
You an economics major?
Finance, yeah.
Finance man, all right. Give him a black hand. Huh? You gotta have him.
My question is, it seems to me that most of people still save their money in white banks, and you know who controls those banks? It's Jews. The thing is,
they control the Federal Reserve System at all.
They control the Federal Reserve and everything. What my question is, what could we as businessmen do to prevent this? And women. And women.
Thank you, sister.
And women. What could we do to prevent?
Well, we do it this way. What could we do as business women and men?
Business women and men, what could we do to prevent our banks from closing down? And what could we do to encourage the creation of capital pools within our own financial institutions?
Do you have this book yet?
Maybe I need to read that.
In this book, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan deals with the finance system and the economic fiber of America, and to some degree, it touches on the world. And I think it would be a good book.
Is that a contribution to me?
Well, this one is already marked up, and I got all my war points in here. Okay. But do you have any, Brother Sundiata and Sister Chandler, and there's 25 here? And Mosque 25 has a book display of liberation literature also set up outside. So, I mean, make sure, brother, and you should meet our minister. You're a finance man with a finance major. You need to go and sit with our minister there at noon. You know, when we gain this knowledge, we got to use this knowledge for the benefit of the rise of our people. How can we keep our black banks from closing?
How do we create capital pools within our own nation?
How do we create capital pools within our own nation? The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has started the 3-year economic savings plan. I know that Dr. John Henry Clark attacked him verbally. I love Dr. Clark. He attacked him and said, Minister Farrakhan never finishes a program. He starts things and don't finish it. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. And you can't see what we're doing. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan started the 3-year economic savings plan. In 3 years, the plan launched. But our people are slow. And if at the end of 3 years he did not have the capital that we desired to do certain projects, then what should he do? Give all the money back or extend it? Well, he not only is extending it, but he is also, for Dr. Clark's advice, for Dr. Clark's information, we advise you from now on to wait a minute. Great and venerable elder and scholar and historian, wait. Did you know, brothers and sisters, that we have now paid cash $1 million+ for our own multi-million-dollar computerized printing operation so that we can now print our own books, print the Final Call newspaper? Did you know Ebony and Jet, that they don't print their own magazines after all these years? The white man still printing, or if not the white man, still printing. We can now negotiate with other black publications that don't have the capacity to print their own. We're paying cash for it. Where's the money coming from, Dr. Clark? It's coming out of the 3-year economic savings plan. Did you know that we have now purchased the sales and office building on Cottage Grove, a high-rise on Cottage Grove in Chicago? Did you know we have now bought what used to be was a big market and a big office building on Halstead? Did you know that we are now beginning to negotiate and make plans for buying farmland, dairies, canneries, and we will be within a year's time setting up a shopping mall, a shopping plaza, what they call a strip mall in Chicago. Where's the money coming from? Part of it from the 3-year economic savings plan, and the rest from a major economic thrust among the believers in the Nation of Islam and our brothers and sisters who are members of the Nation of Islam but who have not yet joined yet. Did you also know that in addition to this, we will have our own fleet? Black people will have our own fleet of diesel trucks rumbling the highways again, doing interstate trade and commerce. Did you know that we will open up eventually our own black bank again, the way we used to have on Stony Island? All of these are plans coming up out of the 3-year economic savings plan. We need a communication system. We need radio. We need television. We need to set up a capacity, and we're working toward that so that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan can sit in not our White House, but our Black House, the palace in Chicago, and actually talk to the world on satellite right from Woodlawn in Chicago. All of this is coming out. So we are developing that kind of example. Normally black people fall out over money, but in the Nation of Islam, a capital pool, that kind of economic base, we are pooling our nickels and dimes. We're pooling our dollars. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, in the tradition of his spiritual father, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, is proving to us that $1 with Elijah or $1 with Farrakhan, you don't have to worry about anybody stealing the money. You give Elijah or Farrakhan $1, they give you farmland back. They give you banks back. They give us trucks back. We're now negotiating. We're talking about we need cargo planes again. We need passenger planes again. And we are now going to begin to lay the base for all of that. In addition to that, brothers, we found that many of the black banks, they're all connected, as you know, to the big bank downtown. Many of the black banks are only glorified check cashing places when you get to transactions up to a certain amount of money, the bank can't even handle it. They'll have to delay you for a week or so until they handle the transaction with the big white bank downtown. We found out that the Federal Reserve ain't really owned by the federal government. But a cracker is a cracker is a cracker anyway, but it ain't owned by the federal government. The Federal Reserve is owned by, you just touched on it a little while ago. It's owned by the Jews. You go back to the Rothschilds and you go back to a lot of the early Jews that are in that financial system. So, brother, technically, we're going to have to pull together as a people and begin to pool our knowledge, our wisdom, and pool our resources mentally, morally, spiritually, and financially in order to ultimately, as God brings us up out of this condition, in this position, in this situation, we're going to have to seek a nation of our own and freedom and independence. And if everybody else could do it and nobody criticizes them, then you shut your mouth when the black man and woman stand up to build a nation of our own and develop our own base for everything,